Hi, this is Tom Eddins from Whispering Waters Wellness at Alchemy Center for Healing Therapies. I wanted to share a short Qigong set for opening up Qi circulation in the legs. So start with the hips, begin with the feet together, actually for this one. And so with all Qigong, which are energy exercises designed to open up spaces in the body and facilitate circulation and movement of fresh blood throughout all the joints and structures. So, like all Qigong, focus is on the center of gravity, the Dantian. Put your thumb in the navel and your hand will fall right onto it. So this area above the pelvis that is the center, our powerhouse of movement and storage of potential energy for the body. So we start out by opening that up. I want to let the tailbone sink down, open up the Mingmen, the life gate, and the low back. And I also want to lengthen the top of the spine, this area called Yaman, the gate of muteness. We're going to push out so that the neck lengthens, and imagine the head is suspended from a thread. So we get a gentle traction, lengthening of the spine from the top and the bottom. And that kind of constitutes a major axis in the body around all our movement. And so with that axis in mind, we begin, like I said, with the feet together. I'm going to bring the hands just to the top of the hips here. And I want to let my breath come down into the Dantian, down into this area where my hands are, and fill it up. Get some warmth and vitality in there. So again, tucking the tailbone. First move is to circle the hips in small circles. So imagining that TAIJI pole through the center of the body, I'm going to circle the hips around it, as if I could draw a circle with my tailbone. And imagine you have a pendulum hanging from the tailbone. You want to draw perfect circles, about 6 or 8 times in each direction. So switch directions now. Overall, this set will take maybe 10 minutes. And so after doing small circles, I'm going to step out to a wider stance, a little wider than shoulder width, put my hands on the hips. I'm going to circle the hips horizontally in larger circles. As I do this, it's helpful to think not just in circles, but also in a rectangle, so that I get to each of the corners and really open up all the potential areas of the hips there. So the front corner, other front corner, back, and the back. Once you're sure you're going to all those places, you can think more in circles. Also, I allow the hips the pelvis to tilt forward and back a little bit with each of the movements so that it stays relatively horizontal. And that allows the back to open up there and the front to open up as I cross the front line. Okay, so 6 or 8 times in each direction. Next one, we put the hands on the thighs, come down into sink a little lower, and we have hula hips. So turning the hips now, like you're doing a hula hoop. So again, about 6 or 8 times in each direction. Big circles with the sacrum. Go back the other way. And then the next one, we're going to go the hips side to side. Come over to one side, turn towards the other, and alternate. So about 6, 8 times each side. Getting progressively lower. You can go as low as you're comfortable with. If you feel really comfortable with it, you can take it all the way down to the floor. But you also get a good stretch just coming part of the way, like so. Okay, after that we move to the knees. So first I'm going to circle the knees. I'll push Qi down from the Dantian, down the front of the thighs. And I'm just going to circle the knees until I generate a little bit of warmth. I'll go in one direction around the kneecaps, other direction around the kneecaps, out to the sides of the knees, insides of the knees, finally the backs of the knees. Okay. Now I want to circle the knees horizontally. So again, pushing the Qi down like I'm ironing out my pant legs. Just down, grasp the kneecaps, and I'm going to circle and come back to a straight-legged position. So there's an emphasis on this one on the lifting, right there. Lifting the dantian, lifting the center of gravity, the Mingmen. Keeping the knees, hands over the knees. Like I said, about 8 times in one direction, and we'll switch directions. This is a great one for strengthening the knees, getting a little bit of fluid moving through those lateral ligaments. Knees have a lot of ligaments that the blood doesn't move easily through. So these exercises help to remedy that. Next one is the crane bends its knees. I'll push down the front, bending the knees, grasping the kneecaps, supporting that, compressing a little bit. Then I'm going to come down, grab at the elbows, and pull up and into the back of the dantian. Come around the hips, pressing down, compress into the knees, grasp the chi of the earth, pulling it up into the dantian. Coming all the way down, keeping the heels on the floor. I'm actually sunken back into my heels here. Coming up. Again, this one can be modified. If that's difficult for you, simply go as far as you're comfortable with, as far as you can go, and then come up. Little by little, you'll be able to work lower with it until you can go all the way down and come back up. Okay, then we have a phoenix stretch. Turn one foot out 45 degrees, step forward, rock back onto the heel of the other foot. This one I'm weighted completely in the back leg. I'm going to come down, circle the knee until I generate a little warmth. I want to feel it penetrate to the back of the knee. And then I'll come up, clasping the hands at the elbows, bending from the waist, keeping the back relatively straight, and just extending this line along the back of the leg and the hamstring, all the way up, keeping the back of the neck loose as well. Not spending a whole lot of time down there, but turn the foot out 45, step forward, rock back on the heel, circle the knee, generating a little warmth, penetrate the back of the knee. Coming up, clasp at the elbows, bend at the waist. And just opening that back line. Not looking to get a huge muscular stretch. Rather think of lengthening and opening space rather than stretching tight muscles. You can also add a twist side to side. Find that easier to do if I come up a little bit and then twist and then sink down. Pro tip there. This one will repeat on each side. Turn the foot out, step forward, rock back, skipping the knee circle on the second too. We'll repeat 3 times total each side. This is one of my favorite moves. I always feel nice and warm after this one. My back and my adrenals, the whole line through the back is opened up, and the chi can move out of the dantian, out of the Mingmen. The life gate fire moves up and energizes the body. Okay, after that one, we're going to kick the heels back, so about 6 or 8 times on each side. I've got a floppy cord here, but you won't have to deal with such things. Okay, and then finally swaying from side to side like a bear. This one, it's really just turning the hips and shifting the weight. And then I'll let the arms swing freely. This is a fun movement to play with. You can play with turning it in different ways. You can turn and shift, or shift and turn, shift and turn. You can do it hard, vigorous, where you're tapping on the kidneys and the low abdomen, or you can just do it light and easy, harmonizing the joints and the limbs, hips and shoulders, elbows and knees, wrists and ankles. 6 harmonies. Finally, we'll pull the feet together. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, imagine any tension or tired energy draining down the body, relaxing everywhere the hands pass, continuing to relax down the legs, the hips, knees, calves, shins, ankles. Feel your feet spread out. Let the breath come into the dantian and fill this area in the belly. Allow the qi to settle. Take a couple quiet breaths before you go on about your day. I hope that's helpful in loosening up the legs, hips, knees, hamstrings, and all of it. Thanks for watching.